Hello everyone. So today together, please learn about please with me a minute. The operating principle of the subconscious. Operating principle of the subconscious. Okay? Yes. So let's get started. Please allow me to share the screen. Right. Let's learn together. Okay, so we will explore the operating principle of the subconscious. We will understand the operating principle of the subconscious, everyone. This is a super important module. It will summarize everything we have learned about the human energetic structure over the past few days. Once we understand this, I will work with you to re-establish a perception, several important perceptions regarding time, so that from now on we will have a very special frequency of vibrational energy regarding certain aspects of life. This is so that we can gradually achieve your desired real life reality regarding them. But first, you must understand how it operates. Please draw a rectangle representing a garden, everyone. Draw a rectangle representing a garden for me. This garden is relatively special because it is very fertile. Any seed planted here can in the future grow into a tree and then bear fruit. This garden grows many trees, but they are categorized into only three types. Please use dots to represent both seeds, trees, and fruiting trees. Take different colored pens. Let one color represent them all and diligently draw the seeds as if we are planting trees in a straight line, just symbolically, uh, but keep them somewhat aligned. Draw them in different sizes to show perspective and depth. Drawing them all the same size is fine too. It doesn't really matter. Okay? All right. So here, please wait 1 second. I will plug in with the computer. All right. Now, this is one type of tree. This dot represents a seed, a tree, or a tree that has already borne fruit. In the human brain, imagine there is a place that stores these seeds and trees. This is called the subconscious. The garden of the subconscious. In Buddhist terminology, it is called the alaya subconscious. While in scientific language, it is called the subconscious. Thus, hearing alaya subconsciousness or subconscious refers to the same thing. Both refer to the garden where many trees are planted. Among them, the seeds and trees are called cognition. The sum of all these trees combined is called the total karmic cognition of a person. The second type of tree is different. So I will draw it interspersed. This tree is named condition. Okay, so you draw it differently, different color. Okay, the sum of all these trees combined is called the total karmic condition of a person. And the third tree, is called the outcome tree. The third tree is named outcome. If we sum all these trees together, what do we get? That is the total karmic outcome of a person. We can total karma or total karmic. It's okay. All right. So these trees could currently be seeds. They could have become trees, or they could be trees that have already borne fruit. Therefore, up to the present moment, if we examine them, you will see the following. There is cognition that we already know, right? It is the understanding we have known before. We already know it, don't we? When we already know that understanding, it is defined as the tree of cognition that has already borne fruit. Do you understand this point? And there are trees that borne fruit and then we forgot them. Does that mean we have already enjoyed the fruit of that cognition? We enjoyed that fruit and then it became hidden. Do you understand? There are conditions that have already fruited. Whether they were good conditions or bad conditions, we don't know. But we have fruited, and there are conditions currently bearing fruit. There are conditions that have not yet arrived, perhaps in a few years. We will meet someone new, right? So they are all waiting. The cognition and the outcomes we have already had, the outcomes we are currently enjoying, and the outcomes we will enjoy in the future, whether desirable or undesirable, are all already there. Human life is being operated by total karma. These conventions dictate the timing, where we live, what we do, and how we do it. Total karma has already ordained it all. Whatever you do, you cannot escape your total karma. Unless we have a full awareness of human total karma, only then we can shift to a suitable total karma. If we have sufficient awareness of it, otherwise, human life will be entirely governed by total karma. So we say we change our lives, but that's not it. It's just that at that point, it had to change like that. Do you understand this? But how does this subconscious operate? Why are these seeds stored in here? Why? It is because of a concept called accumulation. Or we will say imprint. Please wait me a minute. I need to check the word. I need to check the word. Huân tập. Huân tập, huân tập. Huân tập. Acquire. Yeah, we will use acquire. Okay. So we don't use this word. We will say acquire. Acquire. Tập. Acquisition. Okay, this is a noun. Acquisition. Accumulation. We will change to acquisition. Okay. All right. Yeah, so continue, please. Acquisition. All right. Yeah. Please help me write this concept down. Write this word down. Acquisition. Acquisition is a concept referring to when we hear, see, talk, and know through our human nature layer and emotion layer. It will store those seeds. Through hear, see, talk, and know, it will store these seeds into the alaya consciousness and categorize them as seeds related to cognition. As we live, we hear, see, talk, and know about cognition, and it accumulates through nature and emotion. And what we hear through nature and emotion begins to be stored in the human alaya consciousness. Keep those seeds there. The process of hearing through nature and emotion and storing it in the subconscious is called the process of acquisition. Do we understand up to this point, everyone? Through hear, see, talk, and know, we will accumulate these seeds. We will acquire. Yeah, we will say acquire. Acquire these seeds and store them in our alaya consciousness. During the process where we hear something, for example, we hear a certain cognition, which is some understanding from countless lifetime. We hear it at that moment. If our inner state is in a positive oriented or balanced direction, it then stores a seed in our alaya consciousness. Okay, if we hear with a balanced and positively oriented inner state, especially positive regarding that cognition, then at that very moment, that cognition has been recorded as a seed in a positive direction. If we hear or see through nature and emotion in a negative direction, then immediately in the subconscious, it will store a seed in a negative direction. You understand this? In our alaya consciousness, it is divided into three types of seeds, three types of trees, but each type of seed is divided into two directions. One is a seed integrated with negative energy, and the other is a seed integrated with positive energy. These seeds are always kept in our alaya subconsciousness. Do you understand this point? It means it will contain seeds in a negative direction or seeds in a positive direction. Thus, as we live to a certain moment when the condition is suitable, since the seeds are already available, what happens when the condition is suitable? It will trigger that seed. Okay? If it is a seed in a negative direction and an evil condition or a bad condition arrives, it will immediately trigger that seed to produce an undesirable outcome. Therefore, when a seed is negative and we trigger it, it becomes an undesirable outcome. I'll use abbreviations here. If the seed is positive, it triggers a desirable outcome. However, there is another stage which is neither negative or positive, also known as balanced. When the seed is balanced, what is the outcome? It will be neither desirable nor undesirable. We will explore this further a bit. But generally, remember this in life, if someone holds a nihilistic view, it is called chấp kiến đoạt. Nihilistic, I don't know how to read. I don't know how to read this word. Oh my God. Please give me a second.
Nihilistic.
Nihilistic. Nihilistic.
Nihilistic.
Nihilistic or nihilistic. Nihilistic. Okay, nihilistic. Nihilistic. It's the first time I see this word. Oh my God. And one more word.
Causality.
Causality. Okay. So nihilistic. If someone holds a nihilistic view, it is called chấp kiến đoạt. Nihilistic view refers to those who do not believe in causality, do not believe in reincarnation, and perceive that there is life is the only one, and then it ends. And then it ends. Causality, and reincarnation, yeah. They don't believe in causality, not believe in reincarnation, and perceive that this life is the only one, and then it ends. No birth, no death, just an end, with no previous life or no future life. Such a person is called nihilist. On the other hand, someone who holds an eternalist, let me check. Eternalist, yeah, eternalist view believes there was a previous life and many future lives. A nihilist does not believe in the causality of previous lives, so they do anything without caring about the constant consequences. Because if there is no future life, why should there be consequences? If there is no previous life, why worry? Okay. I'm checking my phone a little bit. Just wait me 1 second. Okay. So on the other hand, someone who holds an internalist view believes there was a previous life and many, many future lives. A nihilist does not believe in the causality of previous lives, so they do anything without caring about the consequences. Because if there is no future life, why should there be consequences? If there is no previous life, why worry? Therefore, those people do things without thinking of the consequences and do not believe in how causality is enforced. But an internalist believes too much in causality. If they can't do something in this life, they wait for the next. Both the internalist and the nihilist will not understand what I am about to say. Do you understand, everyone? They won't understand because we hold neither an internalist view or a nihilistic view. We believe our total karma has been accumulated from many lifetimes up to this point, but we do not say that if we don't do this now, we will do it in the next life. We must handle everything in this life, resolve everything in this life. And we will activate the best possible seeds in this life to grow rather than waiting until the next life. But we must acknowledge that what we have today is dictated by total karma. And we must thoroughly realize that we choose our parents. Our parents did not choose us. Our parents did not choose us because only with that total karma are you suitable for the conditions to be born into that family. Okay? Only with that total karma are you suitable for the conditions to be born into that family. Whether at that time of pregnancy there was an attempt to terminate it or whatever the context, even being born in the kitchen cook, who you must meet, who you must know, who you marry, and how many children you have, it is all ordained by Tutukama beforehand. Therefore, I was forced to be born into that family. If I were born into a different family, it wouldn't align with my Tutukama. If we have this awareness from that moment on, we no longer have any resentment toward anyone else. Because my Tutukama was that I would be deceived by this person at this specific moment. If it wasn't this condition, another condition would have arrived for us to receive that outcome. We have no standing to harbor resentment toward anyone. Do you understand this? Where is the woman who mentioned yesterday that her husband drinks? Where? Remember? If you had married another husband, it would be the same. Even if you change 10 husbands, it would still be the same. This is because your Tutukama was already ordained. Wait me for this word. Already. Already. Ordain.
Ordain.
Ordain. Okay, already ordained. Already ordained. Okay. It was accumulated previously with an inner state in a negative direction. Today, simply mentioning him triggers that negative inner state. And the more you mention it, the more the outcome is triggered, resulting in undesirable results. Knowing this, we need the right cognition to adjust it. This garden is not unattended, everyone. It has a caretaker. The owner of this garden is named Mind. Wait a minute. This man take care of the garden. Uh, I where could I find that one? Maybe it's in the diagram. Diagram. Ông ý là mình sẽ dùng cái gì ta? Give me a second, please. I need to find. Ông ý. Will or I think will. Will is more correct. Wait a minute, huh? Let me find. Let me find the word. Ông ý. Ông ý, we will call the will. Mr. Will. Mr. Will instead of Mr. Mind. Just a second. Here. The garden. Let's find the garden. Ah, okay, Will. Mr. Will. I found it. Thanks a lot for your patience. Okay, continue. So this Mr. Will. Mr. Will. Okay, continue, please. Let's continue. So at the time of acquisition and planting these seeds, he is remarkable. He has a superhuman memory and manages his garden with high technology. When a seed is accumulated, uh, acquire, regardless of its stage. If it is in a negative direction, he records a code for it as a negative seed, and he will water and fertilize, fertilize. Oh my God, there's some word that not familiar with me. Yes, they are fertilized. They are fertilized. He will water and fertilize it according to the formula that was acquired. That was acquired. Okay. Oh my God. All right. For example, if we yeah, need to change this. For example, if we acquire in a negative direction, every time we mention in a specific subject, the garden owner visits that tree and waters it in a negative direction. He continues to water it as long as you keep mentioning it. Whether this will place itself, which tree does he visit? Whether our will is placed on a husband. Yeah, I need to replace this word. Give me a second. Okay. Where does this will place itself? Which tree does he visit? Whether our will is placed on a husband, a child, a wife, a house, a car, or a company, wherever our will is focused, the garden owner visits there. If it was previous acquired in certain direction, he will water and fertilize it in that direction. Therefore, the more you mention a husband while your inner state is a negative direction, the more negative it becomes, until one day it triggers an undesirable outcome. Once you have enjoyed that outcome, that seed dissolves. But if you plant another similar seed, the circle continues throughout your life. If you keep mentioning something negative, you will gradually reap an undesirable outcome. If you keep mentioning something positive, it will reap a desirable outcome. If you keep mentioning something positive, you will reap, reap. What is it? We call reap. Yeah, you will reap a desirable outcome. When a desirable outcome is exhausted, that specific causality ends and states continue to circulate because we are constantly acquire new seeds. Okay, just like that, a seed sprouts, bears fruit. The fruit disappears, and a person's life follows this trajectory of causality: seed, tree, fruit, enjoying the fruit, and then changing to another tree. There's nothing to explain. Yeah, there is nothing to explain about a changing life situation. Previously, a certain outcome manifested, and once it was reaped, it was finished. Then a different condition and a different seed manifested another condition, leading to the reaping of different outcome. This continues throughout one's life. Okay. However, today, we are not learning to let it operate naturally like that. We are here to change our causality. If we perceive what we have passed through as the past, we can never change our lives. We must perceive what we have gone through as what we have experienced, not the past. Because if we believe what we went through is the past, it is at the time. It's internally unchangeable. Okay? But if it is what we experienced, then we experienced it because at that time, facing that event, our inner state was in a negative direction. This um, acquire an undesirable seed, which became an undesirable outcome. If we change our state of experience regarding to that event, we change the causality immediately. Okay? Causality. Therefore, we need to have a specific cognition regarding time. We cannot perceive time as past, present, or future. Instead, we must perceive I have experienced it, I am experiencing it, I have not yet experienced it. Only then we can control our causality. Okay? In terms of causality, if an event occurs and both parties' inner states are in a negative direction, the result of that human relationship is an undesirable outcome. However, the moment you discover a new truth and change your inner state regarding that past event, the causality changes immediately. Then the interaction between you and the other person begins to shift. Okay? So there is no concept of the past. There is only the concept of the moment you experience something with a negative inner state, leading to an undesirable outcome in the future. Conversely, if you experience it with a positive inner state, you will reap a desirable outcome in the future. Only when we move away from the concept of time as the past can we truly change our causality. Okay? We are blessed to have a type of awareness that helps us reform causality, which is balanced awareness. In the past, when we sow seeds into the alaya consciousness in a negative direction, the will the will was programmed with a specific barcode. When he visits that tree, he provides more water and fertilizer. However, today, when the whale has attained awareness, he simply visits with the intention to know, hear, see, and speak as it is, right? Talk as it is without initiating any positive or negative charge. Immediately, that tree stops growing and the outcome has halted, 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 halted. Okay? So, yeah, that's when the whale has attained awareness. Only know, hear, see, and talk as it is without initiating any positive or negative charge. Immediately, that tree stops growing and the outcome has halted. The mind is extremely important. Which tree does he visit? For example, if he visits the husband tree, he only knows the husband as he is, and that is all, but not initiating any positive or negative inner state regarding to husband. The undesirable outcome immediately stops manifesting. You should know that when a desirable outcome appears, the undesirable one will fade away. Yeah. When there is neither desirable or undesirable, that tree stops the circle of causality. Once the tree stops and the inner state is balanced, it will naturally tend toward a positive direction. Over time, he will water it in a positive direction, changing the husband experience, and causality will shift from the moment we achieve the balanced inner state. Furthermore, this garden owner has the ability to visit a tree and by only knowing it as it is, effectively cut off its water and fertilizer. If this is maintained long enough, the seed will eventually die. Afterward, we can initiate a different process of acquisition with a different state, allowing a desirable tree to grow again. This is proactively choosing to cut off water and fertilizer. We should not cut off what is desirable. We only do this for what is undesirable. In this way, we change our causality. Okay? So only do it with undesirable outcome. Selecting each individual tree to cut off is uh sub supply is a super complex task. However, great masters have pointed out that we don't have to do it that way. In this moment error, we can simply program an AI program AI to water and fertilize everything in mass. They have discovered a medicine composed of inner peace, tolerance, and honoring gratitude. Imagine a drone spraying this mixture from the sky. When this water, carrying an energy of inner peace, tolerance, and honoring gratitude, sinks in, all undesirable things fade away and all desirable things surface, regardless of the specific details of one's life. like an airplane, spray everything down, just a mix of inner peace, tolerance, and honoring gratitude. So all the seeds and trees will bear desirable fruit. When a person maintains the energy of inner peace, tolerance, and honoring gratitude throughout their life, their future becomes predictable, even if they previously accumulated as the accumulated seeds in a negative direction um, acquire. acquire. Even if they previously acquired seeds in a negative direction, they now face life with inner peace, simply knowing things as they are. They face people with tolerance, not becoming entangled in others' faults, and they hold honoring gratitude for people and for life. Over time, this will trigger and call forth all of our best to karma in every aspect of life. Therefore, the mentality, enriching wisdom, we will use mentality and enriching wisdom are extremely important for changing our total karma. We don't need to worry about who we will meet tomorrow. We only need to care about maintaining a state of inner peace, tolerance, and honoring gratitude, and we will naturally encounter good conditions. Okay? So please grasp until now. To to change an undesirable situation back into a desirable one, we cut off its water and fertilizer. Fertilizer. When you have inner peace and tolerance, you no longer see the undesirable. And through honoring gratitude, you have already found the lesson behind it. There is a formula to know and receive whatever happens. Whether in marriage or any other challenge, this is a formula to transcend all challenges. Or more simply, a way to change the seed to change the outcome. Change the course, change the outcome. Change the course to change the outcome. Step 1. Know and receive. When we use the term receive, it means we are utilizing our inner truth to listen. Yeah, we use inner truth to listen. Do you believe in causality? Do you believe in causality? Do you believe that the seed sown will produce corresponding outcomes in the future? When an outcome reaches us, do we recognize that we create the seed in the past? It might not have been created from birth until now, but it could have been accumulated over countless lifetimes. Some might ask, I've never betrayed anyone. Why am I suffering this outcome? I've never cheated anyone. Why am I being cheated today? Those who say such things do not understand the causality of previous lives and remain in a state of resentment. In reality, no one in this life receives any outcome without its corresponding seed. We must acknowledge this causality. Today's outcome is due to a certain seed. However, if we simply perceive it as my fault in the past, so I deserve this outcome, that awareness is only the beginning. When we say how do I say this word? So, Yeah, because I sowed that seed, I deserve to be deceived today, or because I took someone's money, today someone takes mine. We have implicitly accepted causality. If we accept causality in this manner, our inner state can never be balanced and positively oriented. It will always be negative, leading causality to continue pulling us in consequently. We might continue to have money stolen or be deceived by friends, create a circle where we repeatedly sow, and reap. That's some causality. However, the nature of causality is non-trivial, non-retroactive, non-retroactive. Let me check this word. Non-retroactive, non-retroactive. Yeah. The nature of causality is non-retroactive. Write that down. The nature of causality is non-retroactive. For example, total karma dictates that at this specific time in day, we must enjoy a certain outcome, whether desirable or undesirable. Once it has occurred, that specific causality is finished. A specific seed produces exactly one outcome, and once you have enjoyed that outcome, that causality ends. Causality is not retroactive. Do you perceive this? It means that once we receive that outcome, the seed that created it is finished. It does not repeat. Any similar subsequent outcome is a similar result, not the same one, being produced by the old seed. There is no concept of the one seed producing many trees. One seed produces one tree, and that is all. Thus, we should be overjoyed. When an undesirable outcome reaches us, it is a great relief because it means that past seed is now settled. However, the mentality, the mentality with which we perceive that outcome determines whether we sow a different seed. If we suffer or harbor resentment because we do not acknowledge the causality, our inner state continues to store that negativity. If we resent the condition that brought it or hold a grudge against the person involved, we continue to sow new seeds. Without finding the lesson afterward, the person involved will continue to sow new seeds. Without finding the lesson afterward, the situation will eventually repeat because we replenished the seed. In the future, reaping a similar outcome is due to this new seed, not because the old seed produced multiple results. How do we handle this? When an undesirable event arrives, we know and receive it. Because a certain seed produces that outcome, knowing and receiving it furnishes that causality. Simply know and receive to end the causality. We can easily accept this cognition, can't we? Can't we? It is simple for a person to accept causality, but it is not simple to accept the condition. And the specific person we brought that outcome to us. We may accept the outcome we must bear, but we hate the person who delivered it. We think anyone else could have done this to me, but why my husband? We cannot accept it because we do not understand the law of condition. Our outcome must be born, and our human relationships often revolve around our home, husband, and children. Therefore, the husband and child is selected to trigger that outcome for us because we have closed off our other conditions. Okay? We not accept condition because we don't understand. We don't understand the law of condition. Our loved ones are often those who hurt us most. If you do not understand the law of condition to expand your conditions, your suffering will inevitably be brought by those you revolve around daily. If we did not reap that this outcome through through them, another condition would have to initiate it. We often get stuck on the identity, personhood, making it impossible to accept the person involved. Think of it only as a condition being brought, do not attach their name to it. Avoiding attachment to the identity, personhood prevents us from being entangled in causality and condition for the rest of our lives. If that specific person hadn't brought the undesirable event, your total karma would have required someone else to bring it anyway. Today, total karma dictates that this cognition will be open for you to protect myself from internal arrogance. I recognize that if I do not open this cognition, another good condition would eventually do so. Rain is constant. Whichever tree has roots will absorb it. It is due to their own total karma, balanced merit, and good merit that people have the lives they have today. Caring for children, husbands, or wives is our opportunity to accumulate good merit. That total karma ensures that if we are not there to help them, someone else will come to support them. Therefore, we cannot do anything for anyone if we do not have the merit to do it. Thus, being able to help people is a form of good merit because we do not create value, we do not accumulate merit. Without accumulating merit, our lives do not generate the merit seeds. So how can our human life be good? Therefore, being able to care for husband, care for children, and care for others is a form of good merit. From the perspective of a person helping others, we do not become arrogant. However, in the role of someone receiving undesirable outcomes, we must have the awareness that we must receive that outcome. And if it wasn't that person, someone else would have brought that outcome anyway. Therefore, we do not have the right to harbor resentment toward people, but must have tolerance for them. Step 2. Step 1 was to know and receive with inner peace, which is the first thing to end the causality. But since we cannot easily end the condition, we must take step 2. What is it? That is tolerance for people. Toward people, we are tolerant. Tolerant for people means we are not entangled in their faults. We just need to separate their identity, a name, and attach it only to the condition. Remove the name and attach it to the condition. That bad condition only arrive during that period. It does not represent this person bringing us an undesirable thing once and then for the rest of their lives. Suddenly, our husband, who has supported us countless times in our lives, brings one undesirable thing and we attach his name to it. From then on, our life is entangled, while at other times he brought desirable things. But so what? From the day we received undesirable things from someone, we became angry with that person. From then on, we completely close off that condition and trigger a bad condition. Hmm. From then on, a human life of undesirable results will manifest continuously regarding that, isn't it? That was waste. That a waste. We are said to have not yet realized human life. If one realizes human life, one is not entangled in human identity. One removes that name because at that time one had to reap that outcome, so that condition brought it. On another day, it's possible that some same person might bring something beautiful to us. So we have no right to harbor resentment toward them. We must have tolerance for them. That is the way we shift the law of condition. Otherwise, if we are entangled in identity for the rest of our lives, we won't be able to interact with anyone. Looking around, we'll see problems with our husband, problems with our children, problems with our parents, problems with colleges. For the rest of our lives, people will have problems. But we forget that our own seed cause in the past decided that we must reap the outcome today, forcing those conditions to brought. If we change the seed, how could such a thing happen? Why sit there and not change the seed, but instead blame people all day? And we change the experience by elevating our level of awareness, elevating our level of wisdom, and enriching the mentality. So that whatever is mentioned, we are in a balanced and positive oriented state. From then on, how could a bad condition come to us so abruptly again? We protect ourselves by enriching the mentality with inner peace and tolerance. Okay? You must have the awareness. You don't need to practice. You have the awareness and it is finished. It is done. Rather than needing to train, there is no training. We have the awareness that causality is non-retroactive, and its arrival at us marks the end of that causality. If we know and receive, we have ended the causality. After that, the person who brought it is a condition. Without this condition, there would be another. Separate that human being. Don't attach the labels of husband, child, or wife to that condition today, where we had to bear that outcome, was due to that condition. So if we separate it, we have tolerance for them. Okay? It's like if we are walking and our child unintentionally leaves a stick or something out and we fall and split our head open. Do we then hold a grudge, grudge against them forever? Well, the outcome we had to bear was an outcome for the body. If our child didn't do it today, someone else would have, or someone else on the street would have caused us to split our head open. But because we attached our child to it, we say that the child is senseless and doesn't know better. And from then on, we forbid our child from any activity at home, not letting them play with anything since we fell. Another woman coming to us also brings suffering like that because the outcome is ours to bear. There is no reason to have anger toward them. If we can do this in these two states of inner peace and tolerance, we have served the undesirable outcome and served the bad condition. Okay? And step 3. This third step is what's truly important. This third step is the peak of very top. This third step is finding the lesson, the deeply realized points. Deep lesson realization, and the lesson, application, and realization. Okay. Deeply realized points and what one has awakened to using the energy of honoring gratitude. Realize, realize, realized, has realized, deeply realized point, the deeply applicable, applicable points and what one has realized to using realized to using energy of honoring gratitude. Do not have honoring gratitude to adversity, but we have honoring gratitude to the lesson following adversity. We do not have honoring gratitude to the undesirable. We do not have honoring gratitude for the person who brought the undesirable to us, but we have honoring gratitude for the lesson after that person brought it. If we have honoring gratitude for someone who harmed us, then a series of people who harm us will come. If we have honoring gratitude for the undesirable, then the series of undesirable things will follow. But we don't appreciate those things. We need the lesson to grow, not the adversity to grow. So we have honoring gratitude for the lesson, and the lessons will arrive in a different form, not in a form that gives us undesirable results. Humans need lesson to grow, not adversity to grow. We misunderstand that we must struggle and experience adversity to grow from it. That is a distorted awareness. And if for a whole lifetime we are facing adversity, then would we have time to do good things for society? So after that event, is there a lesson? Any deeply realized points? Any application? We will use application. If we do that, what happens? We have implicity implicitly with every undesirable thing that arises, sown countless desirable seeds for the future. For every undesirable thing that arises, if we handle it according to this formula, it will show a desirable seed for the future. Don't expect that tree to become desirable immediately, but by handling an undesirable tree, you will sow tens of thousands of desirable seeds in the future through your lessons and deeply realization points. For every undesirable thing that arrives, you sow a series of desirable trees for the future. So when weeds sprout, we handle them and we plant tens of thousands of flowers. If flowers fill everything we weed, the weeds will naturally disappear. Don't waste time handling. If the flowers fill everything, the weeds will naturally disappear. Don't waste time handling weeds in the future. That is the way when the undesirable arrives, but we come here to learn how to handle this, but how to plant flowers. We come here to learn not how to handle this, but how to plant flowers first so that weeds do not grow. Rather, can coming here to learn how to handle life's problem. As you self-study and gain your own lessons, your challenges will naturally fade away. As the light is lit within, the darkness concludes on its own. I do not consult anyone about their problems, for for I do not have time for those negative aspects. I am one of the most effortless inner coaching consultants in this world. Psychologists must deal with people's challenges. They essentially take on the darkness for others. Thus, throughout their lives, a psychologist may appear to help many people, but their own life is not necessarily helped. This is because they acquire, hear, see, talk, and know in a negative direction. When negative direction images and information enter, even a top marriage counselor, counselor may end up in divorce. However, an inner coaching consultant does not solve problems but allows individuals to reach their own realization to solve them themselves. Okay, fourth thing, you bring human life philosophy to people to provide them with inner peace, tolerance, and honoring gratitude. You help them understand humbleness and nurture their wealth of personality, wealth of mentality, and wealth of uh, virtue. Virtue. So that human life issues do not occur. If you have 10,000 of millions of employees and spend money just to handle problems, you lose your profit and labor productivity remains poor. The more people you have, the poorer the productivity if their wealth of mentality has issues. Okay, please give me here one moment. Okay, thanks for your waiting. The more people you have, the poorer the productivity if their wealth of mentality has issues. It is nonsensical of a business runs well when small, but encounters entanglements when grow large. Until eventually there is only moment left and no state of happiness. Only money left and no state of happiness in doing business. Thus, if anyone is in a state of unhappiness while doing business, it means you are doing business without a philosophy. If there is no happiness in educating children, it means education lacks a philosophy. If you feel you cannot live happily, it means your life lacks a philosophy. You must have a philosophy for living, a philosophy for business, a philosophy for educating children to move forward. If you do not have any philosophy in those three areas, take our philosophy of root based education as your foundation. You might not know what it is at first, but take the orientation of root based education, which aims to enrich, master, become, and evolve as your foundation, and then exploit later. The essence of the philosophy of root based education is to expand inner awareness and elevate wisdom levels of humans. It directs people toward the ultimate maturity, which is the seven types of holistic wealth: wealth of wisdom, wealth of mentality, wealth of personality. Here we change to character, wealth of virtue, wealth of competency. A moment, please. 7 types of holistic wealth: wealth of wisdom, wealth of mentality, wealth of character, wealth of virtue, wealth of competency, wealth of physical health, and wealth of material wealth. It brings to people the energy of inner peace, tolerance, and honoring gratitude. It helps human life become simpler, more joyful, more trusting, and more effortless. Lighter. That is the philosophy of root based education. When you come here to enjoy the values of this philosophy, you expand your inner awareness, elevate your in wisdom level, orient yourself toward holistic wealth, and possess the energy of inner peace, tolerance, and honoring gratitude. By the end of this course, the 6 days fortnight journey, your life will become simpler, more joyful, more trusting, and more effortless. Then you have benefited from the philosophy of fruit-based education. If you love it and want to bring these values to everyone, you can join and become a mentor and to spread those values. If you want to help many people who go on to help others, you study to become master. I repeat, the philosophy of root-based education aims to expand inner awareness and elevate wisdom levels for humans, directing them toward the ultimate maturity of 7 types of holistic wealth. Okay. 7 types of holistic wealth. Wealth of wisdom, wealth of mentality, wealth of character, wealth of virtue, wealth of competency, wealth of physical health, and wealth of material wealth. It brings the energy of inner peace, tolerance, and honoring gratitude. It helps life become simpler, more joyful, more trusting, and lighter. Yeah. If someone takes the philosophy of root-based education into their family to build a long-lasting clan, it means expanding the inner awareness of the clan members, elevating their wisdom levels, directing them and accompanying them toward holistic wealth, then provide them with the energy of inner peace, tolerance, and honoring gratitude, helping their lives become simple, joyful, trusting, and light. If someone brings it into a company, they will build an enduring organization or an enduring enterprise. That is the philosophy of root-based education. Thanks a lot for your listening, and we have been uh, go throughout the principle of what's that? The operating principle of the subconscious. Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for being here with me, and I love to read this. And I wish all the Mentor 7 will do well at the final exam and see you for the rest of the life.